Hey guys, I'm Lauren and welcome to my channel. So today I'm really excited because my good friend Allred just bought a place and he's gonna let me help design the space. I'm super pumped. Now, what we're gonna try to accomplish is taking it from that bachelor pad vibe to more of an adult grown-up space that he can be proud of. But the challenge is my friend Allred's moved around a lot, he's had roommates, and he doesn't really own that much stuff to contribute to this larger house that he's now moving into, outside of a large sectional, his TV, and maybe like a side table. That's really all we're working with. But then he does have some cool artwork that we're gonna use for the wall. He has some posters of national parks and then this fun cowboy poster that he asked me to include if I could. So I'm definitely gonna work with that. Now he does want it to have a nice light bright feel to the space because his last place was a little darker. He doesn't want it to be super girly. And we're gonna try to stick to as tight of a budget as possible because no one has tons of money to spend right after they've bought a house. So the challenge is gonna be adding in more of those big design staples into the space without spending a lot of money. So I'm gonna do a lot of thrifting. I'm gonna find furniture for free if I can. We're gonna do some DIY artwork, and then we're gonna try to add interest to the walls with paint or in ways that doesn't cost a lot of money. So I'm super pumped. We're gonna go with a Southwestern theme, which my friend Allred doesn't know yet, but he asked me to use a poster that's a cowboy, so he kind of had it coming. So I'll go ahead and walk you through the space now. It's a great old charming house. It has great molding throughout. In the entryway there's a cool stained glass feature, but there's no coat closet or storage there. Then you turn to the left and here's the living room space. It has great natural light. You can see his large sectional there and his large TV. The TV is big. It's bigger than the fireplace right now. So that'll be a challenge to figure out. There's that cowboy poster too. And then it has great natural light with this kind of half bay window and other window. He did pick out these white blinds, so we're gonna work with those, and then this large brown sectional too. Now, this room opens up into the dining room space. It has these cool pocket doors. And then in the dining room, there's a half bathroom right off of it. The stairs are also in the dining room, and then you walk through to the front entry and then also the kitchen. So a lot of doorways in this space, but luckily it's a pretty big room, so I think we can have enough room for a table. We're probably going to make it a little bit more of a sports game room too. He has a foosball table he wants to use, and here's the half bath, kind of just, basic but cool shape. And then you walk back out of the dining room into this little narrow entry hall and then back outside. And here's a look at that fun cowboy poster that was his grandmother's that's inspiring the design. So on either side of the fireplace, we decided it'd be cool to put some bookshelves, and the cheapest option that I could think of to buy bookshelves was to buy one of these IVAR bookshelf systems from Ikea. They come in wood, you can stain or paint them any color, and normally the sides are 70 inches long. So I actually just bought 2 of the 70-inch sides and then cut each of them in half, and then that way we'll have shorter shelves on either side of the fireplace. And then I bought 6 shelves, so 3 for each side of the fireplace, and we're gonna go ahead and paint these the same exact color as the trim in the house. So luckily the previous owners left the paint behind, so now we can paint that to match. While Allred paints the bookcases, I'm gonna go ahead and paint in this gap a little bit on the wall where that trim stops. So from here in, I'm gonna go ahead and paint this the same color as the trim and make it a straight line going up towards the top of the fireplace mantle, and it'll just clean it up a little bit, and it will also give the illusion of the fireplace having a wider appearance to balance out the TV that's currently just a little bit wider than the fireplace. And that's what the tape looks like after I measured out either side. I went out 6 inches. One side had a larger gap than the other, so I made them consistent. And then the plan is to mount the TV on top of the fireplace, so that's why we're doing this too. It'll make the fireplace look wider. And I'm definitely glad we filled in that gap between the trim and fireplace. Looks much better. Now on top of the fireplace, I thought it'd be fun to add a bright white detail to tie in with the white blinds and white dining room and keep it light and airy in here. But I'm going to do a Southwestern shape. I went ahead and taped the one side. Now I'm using a level to draw out my lines to get almost like a cut-in corner look like I've seen with some molding that I like. And then I'm just going to go ahead and paint in this area with a bright white paint that luckily we found in the basement of his house that was probably used for the dining room and ceilings of the home. I think this will definitely add to that Southwestern motif, and then it will frame out the TV once it's mounted on this wall, and I think it'll just add a little bit more character to this home. This would look awesome with a thin white molding, I feel like, but we're going to keep it cheaper today and just use this paint that was free. So I thought a kind of fun feature would be to frame out one of Allred's guitars on the wall, and it's a really cheap way to make artwork. And I think it's a great idea if you play any instrument at all to just go ahead and hang it on the wall. And so I made this makeshift frame out of wood that will attach to the wall later, and then I'm thinking maybe we'll put this fabric on the wall behind the frame and behind the guitar just as kind of like a feature. So I went ahead and centered that guitar frame onto this fabric so that main detail is right in the middle of this frame later. And I'm going to go ahead and cut my fabric about 1 inch in from the perimeter of this wood trim. And then later we can staple this on the wall and then attach our wood boards directly over it. And Allred's either going to absolutely love this or he's going to hate it. If he hates it, that's okay. We can just paint the wall instead and not use fabric. So Allred picked out this Spanish guitar to display on the wall. I told him I was going to make it a feature, but I'm going to kind of try to sneak on this Southwestern fabric without him knowing about it because I'm still not sure if he's going to like it. I want him to see it first before he makes a judgment. So I'm using a level so that I know where to staple the fabric, and then I'm going to staple it really nice and tight and smoothing it out as I go down the wall. And then I'm going to go ahead and, and here he comes. I'm not sure what he's going to think. Didn't want him to see it yet, but I don't think he really knows what he thinks at this point. He's like, okay, didn't see this coming, but I think he's going to go with it. So I'll keep going. But anyway, so I nailed the wood on, starting with the top piece, making it level, and then checking the levelness of the sides as I nailed those on too. And he's back. I don't know what he thinks. He's got a weird look on his face, but I think it'll be okay. I'm going to go ahead and attach the guitar mount now onto this fabric and hang the guitar, and I actually think it looks really cool, and it's a cool little feature right when you walk in the door. And here's those Ikea bookshelves that Allred finished painting. They look great. And now for a coffee table, his current coffee table is too big, so we're going to use this little TV stand he had and stain it instead. So I gave Allred the fun job. He gets to stain this coffee table or side table he had that we're going to use as a coffee table. We're using a dark walnut. This might be his first time ever staining anything, so we'll see how this turns out.
It looks like I don't know what
I found this damaged rug for only $20. It's grass cloth, but it had a little paint on the one corner, but his chaise lounge is going to cover it, so no big deal. Then for the throw pillows on Allred's couch, originally he had 3 of these white and yellow chevron print pillows. So kind of time for a little update with those. In order to bring in this orange color that we're still going to use for the guitar feature, I'm going to still use an orange fabric for a couple of the throw pillows. And I'm going to go ahead and make 2 of these pocket fold pillow covers for the throw pillows. So I need to leave about a 1/2 inch for sewing allowance. So I'm going to end up having a pretty long strip of this fabric because the idea is we're going to wrap the whole pillow in 1 sheet of fabric. And then it's going to fold over as a pocket in the back. So to leave enough room for that fold, I'm going to be pretty generous with this. And I think I might give it about 10 extra inches to work with. And then I'm just going to fold this fabric over. I'm going to fold back this top so that the nice side of that fabric is folded up. And then I'm going to fold down this top part over this other folded lip and fold it back up like this so that that nice fabric is on top once again. And then I'm just going to compare the size of this fold to the original pillowcase cover. I'm going to go ahead and pin the sides in place. And then I'm just going to do a basic stitch down both of these sides, about a 1/2 inch in, straight through, and that's how easy it is to make these pillows. And once the pillow is tucked inside, you won't even see any of the raw edges of the fabric. All right, so we're gonna cover these. And then I picked this one up. This was about half off, so it was a pretty good deal. But I think this design goes well with the space, and then it ties in this other black pillow so that it's not looking weird with black on a brown couch. How's it going, Allred? Yeah?
You might not like it.
Well, it's your house, so. I'm gonna hang these white mirrors with leather trim above the couch as filler art, and the white will tie in nice with the blinds and then the white feature above the fireplace. But if you wanna know how I made these, I'm gonna include it in a second video with some of the thrift flip projects that I did for this house. And Allred just told me that he's not a big fan of fur, but it'll be kind of interesting to see what he thinks of these. I also have that throw pillow. Not sure if he's gonna like it, but I told him just to see what the final room looks like. For some more cheap art, I'm going to take this black and white cactus photo and I'm just going to tape it on top of a sheet of watercolor paper that I ripped the sides of, and then tape that on top of a black sheet of paper. And then we're going to go ahead and use a frame that Allred already had another poster in, and this will be a nice free piece of artwork for the space. I also framed out a little piece of fabric in another small frame, and then I went ahead and glued on some arrowheads on top of the glass. This will tie in with our cowboy, and then I'm going to hang the cowboy on one side of the fireplace and then the fun national park photos on the other side of the fireplace, and they'll be the main feature as far as artwork goes once you walk into the living room. Allred also had these black and white photos that I think will jazz up a little bit by placing them on top of this belt that I bought at a thrift store. I like the green color, and then I'm going to stick these twisty wood stick things in another thrift store pot I bought, and they'll tie in nicely together in the bathroom, I think, with the similar green color to them. And just kind of a simple idea, but it adds more interest and texture to these photos. I also got this rug at the Dollar Tree that I'm going to use as a hand towel in the bathroom because the quality is cheap and it feels more like a cotton hand towel to me. but it goes nicely with those black and white photos. And then I bought a couple of cheap placemats. I'm going to use one of them here and then hang this candle holder on top of it in the center. And then with the other candle holder, I'll just put it in the bathroom by itself. And then I'm just hanging up some of the sports photos Allred had, and this place is just about done. So I'll go ahead and walk you through the final place now. So you walk in and right away you have that little entryway. There wasn't much space for anything, but I went ahead and put this little stool here for extra seating that has a plant on it right now, or little branches anyway, with a thrift store vase. And then Allred had these hooks already from his previous home, so perfect spot for his coats. Little space there for a little stool and plant. Oh, hi Allred. And then Allred used to live in Colorado, so I thought it'd be fun to put his Colorado license plate on top of those hooks in this little entryway too. From the entryway, when you turn left, here's that living room. There's that fun guitar feature that you see right away. I think it turned out really cool, and it'll be easy to take the guitar on and off if you want to still use it. Then there's that main feature wall there and that sectional. You can see all the natural light. You can see that feature I painted above the fireplace. It's just a small detail, but I really think it makes it a fun place to be. There's these bookcases, so we decided to make the one shelf be close to the top for some of the skinnier electronics. Some fun artwork on the walls. I added that red keep photo at the end as a surprise for Allred, just because he wanted something from Game of Thrones in the room. There's that cowboy that made this whole project happen. The thrift store lamps that are included in my other video. Some candle holders, of course. Then there's that thrift store basket too as a blanket holder. This small little horse I also got at a thrift store that kind of just goes with the Western theme. Allred got that banding strip to hide the TV cord, which was nice, and I love how that pattern frames out the TV on the wall. Then as we turn, there's those gorgeous windows. We have some plants on the top of that bookcase that ties in with the orange in the room, and some rocks. This is more of his bookshelf, and then those national park photos are super fun. We have those two little stools by the window. They'll be nice for extra seating when Allred entertains. We got this side table for free from a friend, so that's great. Then there's this extra little candle on the wall. There's that little coffee table that Allred stained, and this orange rug that I got for the room, which ties in with all the other orange features. We have our throw pillows, which are super fun too. That blanket that's teal ties in with that National Park artwork. There's the neutral mirror art on the wall. And then the room kind of circles around, and you can see those fun pocket doors now that lead into the dining room. Now we didn't do much in the dining room. I actually gave Allred this dining room table set that my husband and I had. We were wanting to sell it on Craigslist, but we hadn't done that yet, so decided just to give it to him. But Allred wanted to leave this one wall free of much artwork because he might use a projector on it for big Buckeye games or something, so we just put a mirror on it. We hung this dartboard on this one narrow wall, and then his plans are to put his foosball table underneath it, and there's just enough space for that to come out from the wall too. And then on this other wall in between the windows, Allred had this bookshelf already. He put his sports stuff there for now, but we were talking about putting a bar cart underneath it and then putting glasses or something on the shelves. And here's that bathroom. We have that fun light, that fun artwork. I went ahead and gave him a shelf that was part of my Urban Outfitters project video to go above the toilet, which is super fun. But it's a simple design, but I think it all ties together, and it's all you really need for this space. I think the walls would be fun with some sort of black detail painted on them, like a pattern or something like that. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you like the after. I'd love to hear your comments in the comments section, but I think it turned out super fun and super chic. And here's the happy home owner, Allred, and Sydney. We can't forget about Sydney too. She lives here. All right. So what do you think of the place?
I think this place looks awesome. Lauren did a great job.
Is there a part that you like the most?
I like how she presented the guitar on the wall. Over
She
here.
is in me.
You.
I'm just kidding.
I don't know if I'm talking to you or the folks at home.
No, you're fine.
I like the little display cases that should be set up.
Oh yeah, the Ikea bookcases.
For some of my nerd books.
Awesome.
I like kind of the Western National Park thing going on.
Yeah, those are really fun posters that you already had.
Yeah.
And the cowboy that inspired it all over there. All right, what do you honestly, I need to know what you think about the fur now that it's in the room all together.
I think I like it okay.
It's okay.
The pillow, I don't know about the pillow.
All right, well, I'll leave you and Sydney to the new house here, Allred. And I'm sure I'll be back again to hang out at some point.